I was excited coming from a community of color. I know that there's too much at risk for our families should there be a shutdown, especially financial hardships and everything that was at risk. Hopefully Congress can get their act together and that we can avoid any kind of future damages that might incur to our families and to Americans.
It is good that the government was not shut down, so all the functions are still there. But I also think that when the Republicans want to take a principled stance, that they want a particular type of budget passed, they cannot just back down like this. So from the Republican perspective, it seems to me that it would make more sense to allow for the shutdown and to insist on pushing through their version of budget. As it is, it seems that they just pretty much gave up in order to not let shutdown to happen. But as a consequence, they kind of betrayed their own voters. That's how I feel about it. Well, I don't think that that's a very good way to lead the party, in a sense. I think that any party, no matter what its ideological makeup is, it should allow for a vast diversity of views. But at the same time, I also think that the party is what it is. So if your views differ very significantly from the general platform of your party, maybe it's just right that this is not the right party for you.
I think it's a good thing that it's continuing. It continues the flow of energy between all the parties to think about different options and create a great option and action plan moving forward. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Kevin McCarthy's going to get his wish. I don't think the adult in the room would allow America to sit atop a $33 trillion debt facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. I don't think the adult in the room would allow $8 trillion of this debt to come into refinancing at a higher level without serious spending cuts. And I don't think the adult in the room would lie to House conservatives. And that is exactly what Kevin McCarthy did. In January, to get the speakership, Kevin had to agree to certain guardrails on spending, and he had to agree to a process that would allow us to put some downward pressure on spending. Since the mid-90s, this country has been governed by revolving continuing resolution and omnibus spending bill. And what that means is that America's lawmakers take one up or down vote on the funding of the entire government. That is crazy. That is the reason we're $33 trillion in debt. We want to move to single subject spending bills. So he made that commitment. He broke it. And if at this time, next week, Kevin McCarthy is still Speaker of the House, it will be because the Democrats bailed him out and he can be their Speaker, not mine.
So when do you make this move?
You'll be seeing it this week. I am relentless, and I will continue to pursue this objective. And if all the American people see is that it is a uniparty that governs them, and that it is always the Biden, McCarthy, Jeffries government that makes dispositive decisions on spending, then I am seeding the fields of future primary contests to get better Republicans in Washington who will actually tackle these deficits and debts.
Well, I think what I just heard was a diatribe of delusional thinking. Look, we're in a divided government, and in a divided government, any final bill is going to have bipartisan support. It needs to pass the Senate, and it needs to be signed by the president. Nobody in our conference disagrees with the need to do single subject spending bills. Nobody disagrees with the need to cut spending. By putting this motion to vacate on the floor, you know what Matt Gaetz is going to do? He's going to delay the ability to complete that work over the next 45 days. And just like he and some of my colleagues did during the past 3 weeks, they delayed the process by voting down the rules, violating our conference rules. They delayed the process by refusing to come to an agreement within the conference on a conservative CR that would have cut spending by 8% and enacted border security. They are the reason that we had to work together yesterday with House Democrats to pass a CR. That is not the fault of Kevin McCarthy. That's the fault of Matt Gaetz.
I'm waiting for your very positive responses, people. We got everybody? Just moments ago on the House floor, we passed by overwhelming numbers the ability to keep government open for the next 6 weeks. We've got to understand why we are here. The Senate has produced not one appropriation bill through the floor. The House, more than 70% of discretionary spending has now passed. I do not believe our troops need to be punished for us not getting the work done. So I ask Congress, we'll stay in session the next 2 weeks, continue to work to get this done. Winston Churchill once said this about America: you can always count on Americans to do what's right after they exhausted every other option. It is very clear that I tried every possible way, listening to every single person in the conference. When we went to vote on appropriations bills you didn't think we could pass, we passed them. It was tough, but we got it through. We made sure we came down the last hour. Would I have wanted the bill we put on the floor yesterday that would secure our border, cut wasteful spending? Yes, I did. But I had some members in our own conference that wouldn't vote for that. So if you have members in your conference that won't let you vote for appropriation bills, doesn't want an omnibus, and won't vote for a stopgap measure, so the only answer is to shut down and not pay our troops, I don't want to be a part of that team. I want to be a part of a conservative group that wants to get things done.
Mr.
Yes,
Speaker.
sir. What's your message to the 20? So I think at the end of the day, we kept the government open, kept paying our troops to finish the job we have to get done. Yes, sir.
What consequences should remember deliver people to fire and what steps?
You know, I think ethics should look at this, but this is serious. When you think of how other people are treated when they wanted to come in and change the course of what was happening in this building. And did he deny he did it when it's on tape? And I'm going to have a discussion with the Democratic leader about it, but this should not go without punishment. This is an embarrassment. You're elected to be a member of Congress. You pulled a fire alarm in a minute of hours before the government being shut down, trying to dictate that government would shut down? What's going through a person's mind like that? But we will find the right ability to deal with this. Yes. Thank you all very much. I look forward to all your positive questions in the future.